You ever see a cave and think, yeah, I want to crawl into that dark, wet crack in the earth where people die? No? Well, some people do, and they call it a sport. Today, we're diving headfirst into the world's deadliest caves, places so dangerous they make shark cages look like bull pits. From underwater mazes to vertical pits of despair, these are the caves that don't want you to leave. And in many cases, people didn't. Let's start with the mildly suicidal and work our way down to the absolutely cursed. At number 6, we've got something straight out of Mother Nature's nightmares: the Death Pit. Also known as Veryovkina Cave, it's tucked away in Georgia. No, not the one with peaches and Chick-fil-A. The other Georgia, the one where the mountains are sharp, the roads don't have names, and the caves try to kill you. This cave holds the honor of being the deepest known cave on Earth, plunging a lovely 2,212 meters straight down. To put that in perspective, that's 24 statues of liberty stacked on each other like a weird patriotic totem pole, 7 Eiffel Towers for our European friends, or about 31,680 Big Macs, if you measure distance in fast food. Now technically, only one person has died in this cave, but don't let that number lull you into a false sense of, I got this. Because this isn't a cave, it's a vertical torture dungeon designed by gravity and sadness. Your first challenge? Finding it. The entrance is literally a random 3x4 meter hole in the middle of the Georgian wilderness. No trail, no sign, just vibes and a bad decision waiting to happen. Once you find the entrance and question all your life choices, you don't get a warm-up. Nope. You start by rappelling straight into pitch-black nothingness. And that's just the intro sequence. This cave is a non-stop descent through vertical shafts that feel like someone put a staircase in a blender. And as you go deeper, the temperature drops to near freezing, while the humidity cranks up to 100%, turning the walls into slick limestone slip and slides that absolutely nobody asked for. And it doesn't get better. You'll squeeze through narrow, body-sized tunnels that twist like a sadistic straw, rappel through icy waterfalls, and wade through chest-deep, freezing water, while slowly losing feeling in your soul. And after 4 days of crawling, sliding, freezing, and regretting every hobby you've ever picked, you finally make it to the bottom. Your guide will grab a small sample of dirt, nod like it was all worth it, give you a pat on the back and say, "All right, time to head back up." No treasure, no trophy, just trauma and a 4-day climb back to the surface. Number 5, the Deep Abyss. Welcome to Krera Cave, the second deepest cave on Earth, though let's be real, its true size is a mystery. Why? Because nobody's made it to the end. Ever. The last time someone died in here was 2020, so yeah, this one's a crowd favorite for all the wrong reasons. Your journey begins with the classic "Where's Waldo?" experience. Except you're looking for a tiny hole in a massive mountain range in Georgia. You'll find it, but don't expect a grand entrance. No official dimensions exist, but judging by this picture of Rui Chenet standing in the entrance, and knowing his height is 5 feet 11 inches, we can estimate the opening is about 1.25 Rui Chenets wide. Who needs math when you've got cave math? Once you're strapped in, get ready to rappel into the pitch-black abyss. You'll be doing this for hours. One mistake, and you'll freefall past your team, ruining everyone's day. Oh, and don't forget about falling rocks. 'Cause nothing says safe adventure like waiting for a piece of the cave to collapse on your skull. There are 5 camps, spaced about 8 hours apart. So naturally, expect 5 days down and 5 days up. Along the way, you'll navigate tight squeezes that'll have you using muscles you didn't even know you had, slippery limestone walls, and maybe even pass a few explorers who didn't make it. You know, just to add some extra motivation. But don't get too comfy. After Camp 5, it only gets worse. You'll hit siphons, underwater tunnels you need to swim through on a single breath. If you screw up here, say goodbye to the cave, and possibly life. And if you somehow manage to get past that, you'll be greeted with the 2 Captain Siphon, which, fun fact, is completely OP and remains uncharted. Because what's the point of continuing when the cave is basically saying, nope, you're done? Number 4, the Cave of Death. Welcome to Gouffry Burger Cave in France, aka the Cave of Death and the Drowning Trap, because what's a vacation without a few near-death experiences? At first glance, the cave looks gorgeous. But once you dial down the Instagram filters, yeah, it's just a dark, muddy hole. The kind of place you go to get your death wish fulfilled. This death trap reaches a depth of over 1,200 meters, and in recent years, it's claimed 6 lives. So naturally, you'll start your journey feeling well rested, because what says danger more than waking up in a cozy hotel nearby? Go ahead, grab your croissant, French fries, and French toast, because why not, and get ready for the cave's special brand of misery. The fun begins with a 30-meter vertical descent into the abyss. Oh, and this is just the start. The cave loves its vertical drops, so expect more of them to spam in rapid succession, leaving you with the same amount of joy as a treadmill at the gym. After 6 hours of rappelling, you'll finally reach the largest section of the cave, a slowly descending labyrinth where one wrong turn could become your last. Good luck finding your way out, because the place is built to confuse you into making a fatal mistake. Here, you'll deal with long wall climbs, crossing chilly lakes, and rappelling down slippery waterfalls. Yeah, a minor injury here. Your friends won't just help you out, they'll probably end up putting you down. But if you're one of the lucky few to survive this chaos for about 30 hours, you'll finally hit the terminal sumps, which is like the DLC expansion pack from hell. Discovered in the 1950s, this part of the cave requires diving gear to even get through. To this day, it hasn't been fully mapped out because, freezing cold, zero visibility, and strong underwater currents. But hey, who needs to see, breathe, or stay warm when you're just trying to die a little slower? Number 3. Jacob's Well. Welcome to the place that makes the most universally hated level in every video game. Water levels look like a vacation in Hawaii. Jacob's Well, a lovely little swimming hole just a few miles outside Austin, Texas, is known for doing what it does best: killing people. At least 9 divers have met their end here in recent years, with some of their bodies still chilling inside the cave today. So if for some bizarre reason you've decided underwater cave exploring is your thing, your death march begins with a vertical descent into the cave. But pretty soon you'll realize the cave is just getting tighter and tighter, like an evil game of Jenga designed to swallow you whole. You'll hit the section known as the restriction, which is a long claustrophobic nightmare. It's so tight divers have to mount their air tanks on their sides, sideways, because there's no way you're fitting through otherwise. Now don't worry, because we've all been there, right? A little tight squeeze never hurt anyone. Except this next part. It's the part where you lose focus, even for a second, and boom, you've now entered the dead zone. The cave looks exactly the same in both directions, so you could easily mistake your exit for a deeper part of the cave. Yeah, you might be thinking you're heading out. But nope, you're just going deeper into the abyss. Nice. If by some miracle you keep it together and make the right choices, you'll reach the next section. The shallows. It's a narrow, confined area where you have to be extra careful not to stir up the silt-covered floors. Because if you do, the water will turn into something straight out of a horror movie. Zero visibility. That's exactly what happened to a bunch of divers here. They lost their guideline, ran out of air, and met their fate. And if you manage to make it past the shallows without dying, you'll encounter the final section, the unknown. The name says it all. It's pitch black, narrow, and has a deadly underwater current. But don't get cocky, because nobody has ever made it past this point. Not a single soul. Jacob's Well's true depth remains a complete mystery. But what we do know is this: if you go any further, you're almost certainly not coming back. Number 2. The Mount Everest of cave diving. Or as the locals in Florida like to call it, Eagle's Nest Cave, the second deadliest cave on the planet. It's claimed at least 13 confirmed fatalities in recent years, and while from the outside it looks like a decent little swimming hole, remember, this is Florida. So yeah, it's probably a trap. Your deadly adventure kicks off with a nice little vertical descent into the cave, but don't get too comfortable. Very soon you'll face your first challenge, the chimney. It's a tight squeeze, where if you're not careful, you'll end up snagging the hoses on your air tanks and poof, you're not diving anymore. You're just sinking. But hey, after you make it through that, you'll hit the entrance room, a big old open space that splits into 2 tunnel systems. But for today, we're heading straight for the deepest, deadliest part of the cave. Here, you'll be greeted with a lovely little sign that says, "Stop, turn back now, or you're dead." Obviously, that message is meant for someone else, so you'll push on. As you zoom deeper into the cave with your trusty underwater scooter, you'll soon come across the most dangerous section, the pit. It's tight, it's confined, it's where many divers have met their doom. You'll need to carefully squeeze and twist your way through without messing up your gear. And by the way, if you screw this up, it's not like you can just pop back up for air. There's no exit that easily. But if you manage to survive that, let's talk about the real fun stuff, nitrogen narcosis. It's a condition caused by the increased absorption of nitrogen when you're diving deep, and it makes you feel like you've just taken a few shots of tequila. You're essentially drunk underwater. So now, not only are you trapped in a confined space with no escape, but you're also making decisions like you're at a frat party. Wonderful. But hey, if you're still alive and somehow avoided making bad choices, you'll push through even more maze-like passages, making sure you don't stir up the silt-covered floors, which would turn the water into a murky death trap where you can't see a damn thing. Good luck with that. Now, let's say by some miracle you make it 300 feet down to the Room of Dreams, the deepest known section of the cave. Congratulations. You're one of the very few people on Earth who has ever seen it. And no, it's not because it's some beautiful ethereal place, it's because nobody has managed to go further. The depths, the pressure, the lack of visibility, and all the other deadly challenges make it literally impossible to go beyond. So enjoy the view, if you're still conscious enough to appreciate it. Number 1. Jenny Springs. The land of warm weather, crystal clear waters, food, campgrounds, parties, and unlimited booze sounds like a paradise, right? Well, it is, unless you're dumb enough to dive into the cave system beneath. This beautiful swim hole is hiding one of the most intricate and dangerous cave systems on the planet, which has already claimed the lives of at least 28 divers. If the names of the dive sites don't give it away, I don't know what will. The Devil's Cave System, the Devil's Ear, the Devil's Eye, Little Devil. You get the picture. And just in case you were feeling too comfortable, they added a terrifying mascot on the official map. Because why not make the nightmare just a little more obvious? So what makes this cave different? Well, most caves are like linear video games, one path from start to finish. But Jenny Springs is like an open-world game where you can just wander off in any direction you want. Sounds fun, right? Until you realize you're in an underwater labyrinth, and that's where things take a deadly turn. Now, don't get me wrong, the cave is beautiful, but that's part of the horror. The crystal clear water lulls you into this false sense of security, and then bam, you dive too deep. You wander too far. You make one fatal mistake, thinking you're invincible. And the worst part, you have to memorize the map from wherever you start, keeping track of currents and tunnels, because those currents can easily carry you off course and dump you into a section where you're utterly unprepared. Let's talk about how people tend to die in this death trap. Some divers have gotten stuck in tight sections, knowing the way out, but too weak to swim against the current, eventually running out of air. Others don't even make it that far, getting hopelessly lost because they didn't set a guideline or become disoriented in the maze. Some divers end up suffocating, and their bodies are found days later. Others mismanage their air mixture and suffer from oxygen toxicity, hypoxia, nitrogen narcosis, or carbon dioxide buildup. If you're planning to visit this place, my advice is simple. Admire the cave from a safe distance. That way, if you black out, at least you'll still be alive to regret it. Thanks for diving into the abyss with us. Stay safe out there.